All right, let's get this thing started. I see some people already in the chat. That's awesome to see. Yep. Hello, Caitlin, Barbara, Aga, Caesar, Julie. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Awesome. Hello, hello, hello. Cool. Let's get this thing started. Welcome. Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday thus far. Uh, for some of you, the day is ending. For many of you, it's only beginning. Either way, I'm so happy that you're here today with us, and welcome to today's new in Survicate Unlock the Power of Mobile App Surveys webinar. Let's meet the squad. Let's get right to it. So for today, our squad will look like this. First up, hello. My name is Maciek, and I'm the Digital Customer Success Manager here at Survicate. Besides being your host for today, I'll also be doing my part in educating you about the power of our mobile app surveys. And after that, Sergey will join us, who is our ultra experienced support engineer, and he'll tie in all of this wonderful information with a live demonstration of how our mobile app surveys work in action. So stick around, you don't want to miss this. And last but not least, you're in for a real treat because for the Q&A portion of today's webinar, Pavel, our mobile app surveys developer, will join us to take your questions about the tool, development process, and beyond. So speaking of asking questions, please don't forget to ask questions throughout this session because our chat moderators are standing by and ready to mark, note down, and help you get your questions answered live during this webinar. So that we keep a nice rhythm and flow to this webinar, I would also appreciate it if you keep your questions on topic of today's webinar theme. So that's mobile app surveys. If you have any questions concerning our product, feel free to reach out to us after the webinar via email, or our support staff can handle that as well. We'll take care of you. So thank you so much. All right, let's get to the housekeeping. Yeah, next up we have some housekeeping to get to before we get to the show on the road. In case you're wondering, yes, this webinar will be recorded and sent to you after we finish up. So if you signed up and registered, you'll get a nice little email and a personal thank you from the team with the very recording that we're all a part of right now. So if you feel like you'd like to go over some of the things that we've covered again and again and again, you can do that. And as previously mentioned, don't forget to write in your questions. We want to get as many as we can within the 15-minute time frame for that Q&A session at the end. And don't worry, because if we don't get to your question, we'll be going over every question that was asked after and reach out to you personally with an answer. So no worries there. All right, let's get to the good stuff. A quick rundown of what we can expect today. Basically, our goal today is to demonstrate using various methods about the power of mobile app surveys and how you can use them to improve your business strategy. Or, as our subheader read, in case you read it, today's webinar is to help you understand your app users better to optimize user experience and drive your app growth. And one of the ways we'll be showcasing that is through various use case examples, including ways we've been improving the mobile apps, but also more specifically things like how you can trigger mobile app surveys from inside the Survicate panel, how to trigger surveys to when a user triggers an app event, how to target your surveys to a specific audience, and more. And apart from that, a live demonstration of all of that stuff you just heard about in action. And of course, we'll wrap it all up with a Q&A session with our mobile apps developer, Pavel. So let's get right to it. Okay. It's time for a story, everybody. Let me just put this on here. There we go. And who doesn't like a good story, right? To help us better illustrate today's topic, I wanted to share with you all a story that will also touch up on some of the exciting things we have to offer with our mobile app surveys. Ready, everyone? Let's do this. Okay. Meet Bruno. We find ourselves in the fast-paced realm of a tech powerhouse called, wait for it, technically speaking, Bruno is a dedicated, experienced, and incredibly ambitious product manager. Bruno was gifted with an innate ability to understand user needs and recently was entrusted with the important task of enhancing the mobile app experience for his company. Uh oh, but guess what? Roadblocks. Bruno soon realized a roadblock loomed in his path. How can he actually gather actionable feedback and insights from the app's users in a timely manner? He thought to himself, right? And Bruno, because of his vast knowledge and experience, knew the importance of user feedback to drive meaningful product improvements. And although traditional methods like email surveys were a proven method for such feedback, they were ultimately limited when it came to capturing real time user insights. Bruno thought about it and knew what he needed: a solution that could seamlessly integrate with the mobile app while at the same time allowing him to reach users at the right moment and collect feedback on the fly. The solution. Luckily for Bruno, one sunny day, he came across Survicate mobile app surveys, a specialized customer insights tool designed specifically for mobile applications. He quickly began using Survicate mobile surveys and saw that he could engage with customers directly within the app to collect valuable insights. Basically, he struck gold. Sure enough, he started triggering surveys based on events, allowing him to collect contextual feedback. Moreover, he quickly learned that he could also run recurring surveys as well to gather continuous streams of insights. There was no stopping Bruno at this point, as you could imagine. He knew what he wanted and he was hungry for more. So he started experimenting with different ways in which he could gather insights. First up, triggering surveys in different ways. For example, you can trigger mobile app surveys in a way that they instantly show when a user lands on a specific screen. Or if you want, your surveys can be triggered based on specific events or actions within the app, such as completing a purchase. For example, you can bust out a customer effort score survey and ask, how easy or difficult was it for you to complete a purchase? Allowing you to immediately gauge customer experience levels. By asking targeted questions about the purchase experience, product quality, or customer service, your business can obtain valuable feedback and turn that into actionable insights, helping you identify areas for improvement for the future. Next up, one of my favorites. Because Bruno's company, technically speaking, is worldwide, he made full use of the multilingual feature for his mobile app surveys. You can speak the customer's language, literally. The new translation features makes surveying your ever-expanding audience basically a breeze. So you can create surveys in as many languages as you need, breaking the language barrier and reaching a global audience with ease. The best part is you can either choose to translate your survey manually or take advantage of the convenience of Google Translate. Something worth mentioning regarding Google Translate, the good news is that you are not bound to that translation, meaning you can always go back and edit that as well. All right, now moving along, here's something that blew Bruno's mind. The app language of respondents is automatically detected, ensuring that each survey appears in the customer's preferred language. And if you're wondering, but hey, what if the translation isn't available? Well, then the viewer simply sees the original version and we all live happily ever after. Next up, we have targeted insights. By tailoring surveys to specific audiences, Bruno can gather targeted insights that are relevant to each group. This allows for a deeper understanding of the specific needs, preferences, and experiences of that particular group. At the same time, they help you uncover pain points and opportunities that will most definitely vary across different audience segments, enabling Bruno and his company to make more informed and precise decisions going forward. Recalling, or answer piping, as we like to call it here. This is a great way to make your mobile app surveys more interactive and personalized because you can reference information from previous questions or user attributes. Here's what I mean. Let's say Bruno creates a survey, right? And the first question asks respondents for their names. In the following question, you can recall the information that they provided and address them by their name. It's just a little something special you can add to your surveys, making respondents truly feel value and engage throughout the survey. Hopefully, this little story gave you a nice picture of why Bruno was head over heels when he discovered all the wonderful things he could do with Survicate mobile app surveys and the tremendous impact it had on business growth. I'll try to bring all this information home and actually expand a little more on some of the features discussed during the use case examples. Here's why businesses love our mobile app surveys. Number one, seamless integration. Uh, our mobile app surveys seamlessly integrate with mobile applications, providing frictionless and uninterrupted feedback experience for users. And to put the cherry on top, as they say, right? The surveys can be embedded within the app interface, avoiding the need for external survey platforms. Awesome. What else? Customizable survey design. A little something for everyone. We offer flexible and customizable survey design options, allowing your business to tailor the surveys to their specific needs and branding. This includes created targeted questions, choosing from various question types, so like rating scale, single choice, NPS, CSAT, and more. Besides the option to add your company logo or avatar, recently our mobile app surveys have been completely transformed with a fresh, modern design and 21 customizable color themes, making them far more readable, easier to navigate, and simple for your respondents to answer. This means engaged participants, more responses, and incredible insights. Next up, I wanted to go over once again the multilingual support. As mentioned earlier, Bruno's story, our mobile app surveys support multiple languages, allowing you to engage with users across different regions and language preferences, ensuring a global reaching. Actionable analytics, basically, once you've got all your hard-earned feedback, our analytics and reporting features enable your business to derive actionable insights from the survey data data visualization tools, segmentation options with our advanced filter options and capabilities, allowing to uncover patterns, trends, and make data-driven decisions to improve and grow your business overall. And last but not least, we have survey personalization. And in this case, I'm referring to the recalling and answer piping. Sergey will demonstrate this in a little bit, but basically this feature lets you insert respondents' answers into survey questions, allowing you to automatically use their answers in follow-up questions. It's an incredible way to personalize the customer's journey as they make their way through your surveys. And yeah, that's it from me. Next up, we will have Sergey do a little demonstration here. Let me just disable the here. And before we get to the live demonstration, I wanted to give a little heads up that in case you just joined us, I'd like to remind you that this session is being recorded. So if you feel like, oh man, what did I miss? Did I miss anything? Don't worry, because we'll be sending you the recording afterwards. So fear not, we've got you covered. And a quick note again, don't forget to write in your questions in the chat because we'll get to those at the end of the Q&A. Okay? So without further ado, Sergey, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Today I want to show you how Bruno's survey would look like on a mobile device and demonstrate the possibilities of our mobile surveys. In order to get the mobile surveys to appear in your application, you will need to install our mobile SDK to your application. And you will find the instructions on how to do that at our developers help center at developers.survicate.com. Once you install and set it up in your application, in Survicate application, you can manage and set up targeting for the surveys from the Survicate panel. So there will no need to edit the code. You just go to the Survicate panel and set up targeting and customize your survey from the panel itself. And let's see now how Bruno can utilize the power of our mobile surveys. I'm gonna start sharing my screen. All right, and we are at our Survicate panel. So let's say Bruno wants to create a mobile survey that would appear to users on a specific screen. So he created his customized survey. He added the rating scale question, asking how is the day so far. And here you can see the example of how it will look like in your mobile application. So the preview. And we can even change the colors, design, add our logo if you would like from this page. It depends on what colors Bruno company has. And we can also define whether it should be full screen or dialog. So when we select full screen from here, it will be on full screen and dialog will be placed at the bottom. So the most interesting part for us is target tab, where we can define on what screen should the survey appear. And here we need to select only certain screens and type in the screen name exactly as you have it named in your application. So Bruno's screen is called settings, and he wants to show the survey on this settings screen. Here in triggers, we define when would you like to show the survey. It can be done instantly when a user lands on the screen, or we can add some delay, let's say 5 seconds, or when a user triggers an event. We will talk about it in a few minutes. In our case, we would like to show the survey instantly, so we will leave it like that. And we want all users to see our survey, so the users settings should be all users selected. And under frequency, we can define what to do if the user has responded or closed the survey. We can either never show the survey again or let him retake the survey after a week or month or in a quarter, let's say. All right. So in Launch tab, we need to make sure that our survey is live and is active. And let's see how it looks like in the application. All right, so let's say the user clicks on the settings screen and he gets to the settings screen and he receives the survey asking, how is that date so far? The user answers the question and it goes to the Analyze tab. I will show you how it looks like in a moment. When we go to Analyze tab, we can see the overall responses, how many views we have on this survey, how many responses we collected so far, and we can see the overall information about every question we have in our survey. So for rating scale, you can see the score is calculated, and you can see score over time. And if you go to individual responses tab on the left, we will see the responses one by one. In the middle, you will see the answers for the questions. And on the right, you will see other information like user attributes or other survey responses this user has sent. When it comes to the second case, our Bruno wants to show the survey only after a specific event in his app has occurred. For example, let's say he has the feedback button in his mobile application, and when the user clicks on this feedback button, the user gets the survey. And he wants to ask, how would you rate your overall experience so far with a smiley scale question? So when we go to Target tab, we want to show it on all screens, let's say, but only when a user triggers an event. So we need to select this option and put here the event name from our application. So the event is called feedback button clicked in case of Bruno's application. He puts it in this field, and we want to show it to all users and never show the survey again after the user has responded to the survey. Let's see how it works in the app. So let's say we have feedback button and we click on it, and the user gets the smiley scale question asking how would you rate the experience. And the third case, he wants to show the survey only to users who have some specific attribute. For example, he wants to know how does it, do they have any thoughts on how to improve the application if they have recently used the latest update in the application. And Bruno is collecting this information about his users in his app, is storing them as attributes, and he can send the attributes names to us with our mobile SDK. You can see the instruction on how to pass the attribute to us on developersurvicate.com. But let's see, what do we need to edit in targeting? So here we want to show it on all screens instantly when a user lands on the screen, but we need to select the custom audience that should see this specific survey. And we want to add new filter and filter by attributes. Bruno has already did it, so he put here the attribute name, which is called latest update active, and the value of the attribute, which is true. So only these users with this attribute name and this value should see the survey. So when we go to the to our application and we have this latest update active as true, we can see the survey. And you might have noticed that the survey is greeting us with "Hi Max, do you have any thoughts on how to improve?" And this personalization part is the one feature that I wanted to discuss with you, to show it to you. So when we go to the Create tab, we click on the question to edit it. And if we add @sign, we can see that we can recall the attributes. For example, first name. I already added it at the beginning, as you can see, after hi. If you click on it, you can add a fallback. So in our case, it will be hi there if in case this user doesn't have first name attribute for some reason. And it will just replace there with the user's first name when he will see the survey. So as you can see, our user has first name Max, and we are greeting him personally with his first name. And he answered the survey. When we go to the Analyze tab, we can see that this user is Max. His first name is Max. It is also visible on the right under user attributes. And we can also see the user attribute latest update active true, which means that we have successfully passed this attribute, and we can see it under Analyze tab. What's also interesting about the Analyze tab is that you can apply filters to better see some specific responses you're interested in. For example, you're looking for some responses from a specific date, let's say from 1st of June. So we just click on the custom date, select 1st of June, apply, and we can see that we have collected 2 responses on this specific date. We can also apply some filters to see, for example, only responses from the user with first name called Max. We apply, and we can see that we have 3 responses from the user with this first name. If we go to overall results in this type of survey, so we have added text question. You can see that all the text responses look like this. And at the bottom, you will see word cloud, which represents the most used words that were put into the text field as the response. All right, let's also see how the Analyze tab looks like for the event survey that we created with the smiley scale. So when we go to Analyze, you can see that the score, the customer satisfaction score, is calculated. You can see how many % of your audience is extremely unsatisfied or happy, let's say. And you also can see the score over time at the bottom for this kind of question. We can apply filters even on this page, so no need to go to individual responses tab, and we can see the overview for a specific day. Thank you very much. Let us know if you have any questions regarding anything or regarding what I have just shared with you, and we will discuss it on a QA session. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Sergey, for that demonstration. That was awesome stuff. Let's give it up for Sergey one more time. You can do it audibly at home, or if you want, you can show your love in the chat. Either way works. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Yeah, so now I think it's the perfect time to introduce, once again, Pavel. Let me get my slide up here. There we go. Our mobile app service developer, Pavel, get on down. Hi, Pavel. Hello, thanks for being with us. Let's take some questions, and Sergey, feel free to join in at any moment. The more the merrier. So we got some questions lined up, as we can see here. Let's see. There's a few, actually. All right, how about this one? This one comes from Thomas, and the question is, does Survicate work only in native apps or also in hybrid apps? And are there any functionality limitations for hybrid apps? That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good question. We currently support React Native apps. We have officially released an SDK for React Native. So it's also possible in apps using React Native.
There we go. I hope that answered your question, Thomas. Thank you so much. What else do we have? Oh, no problem, Thomas. I see he gave us a nice little thank you there. What else do we have? Okay, maybe this question right here. Sepi Day. How can we incorporate additional rules into the survey to align with our specific requirements? I believe this goes on with the previous question, which was how can we incorporate. No, wait, which one is this? Yeah, how can we incorporate additional rules into the survey to align with our specific requirements? This question, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. It's a vast question because there are like multiple options to add it. As you could see in the live demo, you can use screen targeting or event targeting, and also you can use attributes to target custom audience. Also, you can target the percentage of the audience, so you can set like you want 50% of the users to see this survey. Another thing is that you can set the survey as recurring based on value, which is instantly or quarterly. Also, you have an option to set logic for questions. So you can create paths that whenever a user selects an answer, when there are multiple answers possible, you can move him to some specific question. So you can like if a user is happy, you want him to go to the happy screen. Yeah. So there are multiple options. Also, as I could see, you have a question for how it works in code. Effectively, you can add an attribute. So our API, our SDK's API, allow you to set attributes. So it works the same as events. So you like invoke a method with a key and value, and this gets sent to Survicate, and then you can link it. It gets linked, like yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Pavel. Sepi there. I hope that answered your question. What else do we have? I think that's all the questions from what I'm seeing here. Okay, that's not cool, guys. Where's all the questions? You know what I was thinking? Maybe we could also take some questions that some people actually sent in for us. Yeah, we have a couple of questions like that. So how about we answer them? Here's one for you guys. How long does it take to see new settings configuration? Like, is there like a delay?
Yeah, it's a very good question. There is some delay between the time that you change the survey in the panel and the user sees it in the app. It takes a few minutes, so it's for performance.
Yeah, depends on the performance. All right, thank you so much, Pavel. We have another question here by a mysterious okay, by Ronnie. Thank you so much. I don't want to show the survey if a user already responded it. I do want to show it again after a day or a week only if a user closed the survey without responding. You don't have this option. That sounds doesn't sound like a question. It sounds like a comment.
That's a good use case.
Yeah.
In case you would like to do something after the user has closed the survey without responding, for example, then you can go to our developers page where you can find the instructions on how to utilize our event listeners. For example, you could use our event listener survey closed and then assign an attribute to this user, and then you will be able to set up an audience in Survicate, which will include only users who close the survey, for example, and you want to show the survey again only to those users. Pavel, maybe there is an easier way. What do you think?
I think it's a good solution to this problem. I agree with Sergey.
Yeah. I hope, Ronnie, that also answered your question. Thank you so much for writing in. Do we have any other questions? Let me see here. I don't think we do. But maybe we can do one more random question we got from our emails. Uh, one of the questions was, how can you test the mobile survey?
So it's also a really good question. What you can do is create a workspace that's not your production workspace, and use it to test the functionalities you want to test.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Pavel. And maybe let's see. We have another question, I believe, from Sepide again. Thank you for being so active. Can we send survey data to our database?
That's a good question. Thank you, Sepide. So we have two ways of even more ways to send survey data to your database. There is an option to use our webhooks integration, which will allow you to send survey responses or the whole survey response as the all question answers to your endpoint, or you can send only answer to separate questions to your endpoint. Other way is our data export API, which you can use to get any data that you would like about the respondent or about the survey. There is also a way to export the survey results to CSV or XLS file. And you can also use, for example, Zapier integration, which allows you to connect with the different tools to process the data that we send.
Awesome. Thank you, Survicate, for that. Sepide, I hope that also answered your question. No problem. I think we have another one. Awesome. We have two contenders fighting for questions. Do your customers use the survey tool for marketing or sending messages to the app's users? Good question, Ronnie.
I believe that really depends on the customer and his use case. Both scenarios can be done with our tool, so you can use it to get the thoughts of people regarding some functionality of their website of their application, or you can also use it with a single welcome message. So the single question, which will be just informative. So you just need to click the button once you read the message that you would like to show to the user.
Awesome. Ronnie, I hope that answered your question as well. And I think that's it for the questions. I believe with that question, we're ready to wrap up this webinar unless someone has a question. In 3, 2, 1. All right. So thank you, everyone who took the time to ask these wonderful questions. We truly appreciate it. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. We hope that this webinar was as informative as we hoped that it would be. If you enjoyed this webinar, we've got awesome news for you because we've got plenty more scheduled for the incoming months. We'll definitely be keeping you posted on that. And before I forget, after this session, you'll receive a survey regarding your experience with today's webinar. So please fill it out. I think it's only like one question. Come on, one question. Come on. Once again, if we didn't get to your questions, look, we're going to be sending you an email from us because we won't leave you hanging. And if you have any new questions that come to you, like if you have a question like right now, oh, I should have asked that, you can reach out to us via email or chat. Our wonderful support team will take care of you. So don't worry about that. Thank you again, everyone. Sergey for that incredible, engaging demonstration. Pavel for your developer mind, and for the moderating team, making sure that the chat stays engaged. See you at the next one. For the rest of your day, have a wonderful rest of the day, and thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.